The sun scorched the Arizona desert, casting shadows over Clara's trembling form. Her husband, Jed, sneered as she clutched her swollen ankle, a rattlesnake's venom coursing through her veins. "You're a burden," he spat, mounting his horse. Clara begged, her voice weak, but Jed rode off, leaving her to die under the relentless sun, her heart breaking as much as her body ached from the poison. Clara's vision blurred, the horizon shimmering with heat. She crawled toward a lone cactus, its spines a cruel mockery of her pain. Her ankle throbbed, the bite marks angry and red. Memories of Jed's cruelty flashed, his cold eyes, his sharp words. She'd loved him once, but now she saw his true nature. Gasping, she collapsed, her strength fading, whispering a prayer for salvation. Miles away, Eli, a weathered cowboy, rode alone. His hat shaded a face carved by loss, his wife gone to fever years ago. He preferred solitude, the desert his only companion. His horse, Dusty, snorted, sensing something amiss. Eli's sharp eyes caught a faint trail of disturbed sand. Curious, he urged Dusty forward, unaware that fate was about to intertwine his life with another's. Clara's breaths grew shallow, the venom stealing her strength. She clutched a locket, her mother's, its cool metal grounding her fading hope. The desert was silent save for the wind's mournful howl. She thought of her childhood, free and full of dreams, now shattered by Jed's betrayal. Her eyes fluttered shut, surrendering to the darkness, believing this was her end. Eli spotted Clara's crumpled form against the cactus. His heart lurched. She was barely alive. Dismounting, he knelt beside her, noting the snakebite's angry swelling. "Hold on, ma'am," he murmured, his voice rough but kind. He lifted her gently, her weight light as a feather, and placed her on Dusty. Time was short. He needed to act fast to save her from the venom's grip. At his small cabin, Eli worked swiftly. He'd seen snakebites before, knew their deadly dance. With a knife, he made a small cut near the bite, sucking out venom, spitting it into a tin cup. Clara moaned, half conscious, her face pale as moonlight. Eli bandaged her ankle, brewing a herbal tea from desert plants his mother taught him to use. He prayed it'd be enough to pull her through. Night fell, stars blanketing the sky. Clara stirred, her fever breaking under Eli's care. She opened her eyes, meeting his, blue as a clear day, kind but guarded. "Who are you?" she whispered. Eli offered a faint smile. "Just a man who couldn't leave you to die." His words were simple, but they stirred something in Clara, a flicker of trust she hadn't felt in years. Days passed, Clara growing stronger in Eli's cabin. He shared his meager supplies, beans, cornbread, coffee, never asking for thanks. She noticed his hands, calloused from work, yet gentle when tending her wounds. He spoke little, but his actions told a story of a man who'd known loss yet chose kindness. Clara felt safe, a feeling foreign after years with Jed's cruelty. One evening, by the fire, Clara shared her story. Jed's charm had won her young heart, but his love turned to control, then cruelty. The snakebite was his excuse to abandon her. Tears fell as she spoke, and Eli listened, his jaw tight. "No one deserves that," he said softly. His empathy warmed Clara, a stark contrast to Jed's coldness, planting a seed of hope in her heart. Eli taught Clara the desert's ways, how to spot water, track animals, survive its harshness. She admired his quiet strength, his respect for the land. One day, she laughed at his dry humor, surprising herself. Eli's eyes softened, a rare smile breaking through. Their bond grew, unspoken but strong, built on shared moments under the vast, unforgiving sky. Meanwhile, Jed rode into town, spinning lies about Clara's death. He played the grieving widower, charming saloon girls and spending Clara's dowry. But whispers spread. Someone had seen a woman's tracks in the desert. Jed's confidence faltered. He hadn't counted on Clara surviving. Anger brewed. He'd need to ensure she stayed gone if she was still alive. Back at the cabin, Clara's strength returned fully. She helped Eli with chores, her hands learning to mend fences and cook over an open fire. Their evenings were filled with stories, hers of a lost family, his of a wife taken too soon. Clara felt a pull toward Eli, his steady presence a balm to her wounds. She caught him watching her, his gaze warm but hesitant. One morning, Eli found fresh hoofprints near the cabin. His instincts sharpened, Someone was close. He didn't tell Clara, not wanting to scare her, but he kept his rifle near. That night, he stayed awake, watching the shadows. Clara sensed his unease, her own fears of Jed resurfacing. "Eli, what's wrong?" she asked. He shook his head, promising to keep her safe. Jed, driven by paranoia, tracked the desert trails. He'd hired a roughneck, Amos, to help him find Clara. They followed whispers of a lone cowboy with a woman. Jed's greed and pride fueled him. Clara alive threatened his freedom. Amos, loyal for coin, scouted ahead, spotting Eli's cabin. They planned to strike at dawn, ensuring no witnesses to their deed. As dawn broke, Eli woke Clara, his voice low. "Riders are coming. Stay inside." Her heart raced, sensing Jed's shadow. Eli loaded his rifle, his face set like stone. Clara gripped her locket, praying for strength. Outside, hoofbeats grew louder. Eli stepped onto the porch, his stance calm but ready, a protector forged by the desert's hard lessons. Jed and Amos dismounted, guns drawn. "Hand her over, cowboy," Jed sneered. Eli's eyes narrowed. "She ain't yours no more." Clara peered through the window, her fear mixing with fury. Jed's voice dripped with venom, accusing her of betrayal. Eli stood firm, his rifle steady, warning them to leave. The air crackled with tension, the desert holding its breath. Amos lunged, drawing first. Eli fired, his shot grazing Amos's arm, sending him sprawling. Jed cursed, firing wildly, bullets splintering the cabin's wood. Clara ducked, heart pounding, but grabbed Eli's spare pistol. She wouldn't let him fight alone. Stepping out, she aimed at Jed, her hand steady despite her fear. "Leave, Jed," she said, her voice steel. Jed laughed, mocking her courage, but his eyes betrayed doubt. Eli used the moment, tackling Jed to the ground. Fists flew, dust rising as they fought. Clara kept Amos at bay, her pistol unwavering. Eli pinned Jed, his strength born of righteous anger. "You don't touch her again," he growled. Jed, beaten, spat blood, his bravado crumbling under Eli's resolve. Amos, clutching his wound, fled into the desert. Jed, subdued, was tied up by Eli. Clara's heart raced. She was free, but the cost weighed heavy. Eli checked her for injuries, his touch gentle. "You're safe now," he said. She nodded, tears of relief falling. The desert, once her tomb, now felt like a place of rebirth, thanks to the cowboy who'd saved her life. They took Jed to the town sheriff, Clara recounting his crimes. The townsfolk, hearing her story, turned on Jed, his lies exposed. He was locked away, his fate sealed. Clara felt a weight lift, her past no longer chaining her. Eli stood by her, quiet but steadfast, his presence a promise of protection. She knew she owed him more than she could ever repay. Back at the cabin, Clara and Eli sat under the stars. She thanked him, her voice soft. "You gave me a second chance." Eli shrugged, humble. "You fought for it too." Their hands brushed, a spark passing between them. Clara realized she didn't just want to survive. She wanted to live, maybe with Eli, if he'd have her. The desert, vast and wild, seemed to approve. Days turned to weeks, their bond deepening. Eli built a new room on the cabin, joking it was for Clara's fancy city ways. She laughed, feeling at home. They worked side by side, their lives intertwining. Clara learned to ride Dusty, Eli guiding her with patience. Their shared silences spoke louder than words, a language of trust and unspoken love. One evening, Eli carved a small wooden locket, offering it to Clara. "For new memories," he said, shy. She placed it beside her mother's locket, her heart full. They sat by the fire, the desert night wrapping them in peace. Clara knew she'd found more than survival. She'd found a home, a partner, a future. Eli's eyes met hers, and she saw the same hope reflected. The town began to change, inspired by Clara's courage. Women spoke up against cruel men, and the sheriff cracked down on lawlessness. Clara and Eli became legends, their story whispered in saloons. They didn't care for fame, content with their quiet life. The desert, once a place of death, bloomed with their love, a testament to second chances and unbreakable spirits. As seasons passed, Clara and Eli built a life together. The cabin grew, filled with laughter and warmth. Clara's ankle scar faded, a reminder of her strength. Eli, no longer lonely, found purpose in her smile. Under the desert stars, they vowed to face whatever came, together. The snakebite that nearly took her life had led her to love, proving even the cruelest betrayals can't stop a heart that fights.